Hey folks, it's Pat here. Welcome back. Got a Chapter 7 question request, and that's this one. Standard normal values basic. All right, so these, unlike the previous ones where you're looking up a probability, in this one you're looking up a specific value of C. And C is just a cutoff value. And so remember, with these ones, we're using the Z distribution. And so normal standardized distribution. When you're looking for a cutoff score, you're looking for a Z-score, all right, that actually cuts off a certain piece of the tail, either to the left, to the right, or in between 2 points, okay? And so to do that, you're going to use the ALEKS calculator. It's the fastest way to do it, all right? And instead of using this button, all right, like we would in the previous problem, we're going to use this one, which is the Z with the little box. And what this is just a table lookup, all right? So because in the old school way, these would all be laid out in a table, you know, and you have to look in the appendix of the book. You don't have to do that here. You just have to use this, okay? And so the calculator will always look up any value that is greater than a certain, or any probability that's greater than a certain cutoff value, all right? And so whenever you see this problem right here where it says C is greater than Z, and if we just read this one out, it's the probability of finding a Z-score greater than this value right here that we're looking for would be 84.38%, okay, or 0.8438, all right, would be our probability. Okay, and so we need to find C. You do that with this guy right here. Whenever you see it where it's C is less than Z, you can just punch it in directly, all right, because it's looking up everything to the left of a certain value, 8438. Geez, there we go. And so you can just punch that in correctly, directly like that. So -1 decimal place. Pay attention to this, how many decimal places too, because sometimes if you just copy this and paste it in there, you'll get it wrong, which is dumb, but it's the way that it works. All right, so remember, when Z is greater than C, all right, you can just punch it in directly into the calculator. Write that down, all right? So the next one that you'll see is this one, where it's split between two values. This one, what we need to do is we need to take the probability that it gives us and subtract that from 1. And the reason why we do that is because we want to find out what's left. So it gives us a probability. 96% is most of the probability under the distribution, but we need the 2 points on the end that make up the difference. And so you take 1, subtract the probability it gives you, and then take that difference, and this is the tricky part, you need to divide that in half because you're split it between two different values here. And so that's 1.0162. So then you can just punch that directly using this Z button here, and there you go. There's your answer. And this one should make a little bit of sense because you remember how Z-score works. So it's just a number of standard deviations away from the mean. This one here, 96%, if anything, is near 96% or 95% or something like that. The Z value on these should be around 2, because remember, 2 standard deviations away from the mean, 95% of your observations. So it's funny how things come together. Huh? Anyway, there we go. So I hope that helps with that one. All right, last one on here. Let's go ahead and show you the last one, which is this guy right here, where you get a probability of Z being less than or equal to a certain value. Okay, so notice that this one matches up with this guy right here, okay? And so, you know, unlike before where you could just punch this one in directly, all right? When you're using this one, it's looking up everything to the left, all right, not to the right, all right? And so in this one, what you have to do is you have to take this probability first and actually subtract it from 1. Just so you're looking at the difference, the other side, all right? And so there's our value right there. Let's go ahead and punch that in to our Z calculator. And bam, there we go. And this one should make sense. It's probably not very likely that you find a lot of Z values or observations that would have a Z value or a Z score that was less than -1.14. It just goes back to the empirical rule. All right, and so once you practice with these a little bit, you can kind of eyeball them to see whether or not you got them right just based upon that Z score. So there we go. All right, so that's standard normal values basic. So hope that helps. And remember, just as a summary recap, all right, you're going to get problems like this where Z is less than C. That one, take this, subtract it from 1. If you get one that Z is greater than C, you can just punch it in directly into the calculator. And if it's split between two values, take whatever probability they give it, subtract it from 1, divide it by half, then punch it in the calculator. Those are 3 types of problems you see here. Hopefully you can crush those out pretty quick. We'll see you in the next video.